Okay, in this video I want to talk about ratios. These are going to be easy to compute, and I just want to talk quickly about why they're important. There are four types. So we'll look at the first type here called liquidity ratios. Let me give you one example of that. It would be like the current ratio, and that current ratio is equal to the current assets divided by the current liabilities. Why is this important? Because if I'm buying a bond, I'm loaning money to the company, I want to know, can you pay me back? I'm the CFO of the company, I want to know, am I going to go bankrupt? So in the near term, do I have more stuff that I have to pay, more liabilities, or more assets? If this number is greater than 1, that means the assets, the stuff that I have that I can turn to cash quickly, is more than the cash I'll have to pay out quickly. And there's also a quick ratio with this. So liquidity just tells me, do I have enough cash on hand, or things like cash on hand, that I'm not going to go bankrupt. And like that, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but for example, the next section is asset utilization. So asset utilization ratios are going to tell me exactly what that says. Am I using things correctly? So I have like my total asset turnover, which is equal to sales divided by total assets. And it tells me, look, sales is what I want to generate, right? Am I using too many assets to generate those sales? So I want this number to be big. The more sales I can generate with the assets that I have, the better off I am. It's difficult to compare these from one industry to another, but it's easier to compare like Coke to Pepsi. I can say Coke's doing a better job or Pepsi's doing a better job, but it's tough to say Coke to Google because those are two different things. The next from asset utilization is going to be debt utilization. I'm just going to put debt U for debt utilization. And I have things here like times interest earned. And that's going to be my earnings before interest and taxes divided by my interest expense. So just for example, I'm looking at, man, am I using my debt properly? When I borrow money, am I using that money I borrow to generate more money? Because remember, the point of the financial statements is the CEO or the potential investors want to see, is the money machine working properly? And the fourth one is the profitability ratio. So profitability, I want to know things like, and these to me are really important, like return on equity. That return on equity is my net income over equity. So I'm investing in this, right? And I want to see, does the income that I produce, is that going to be sufficient for the risks I'm taking? So the equity I put up, how much net income am I generating? So those are the four primary types: liquidity, asset utilization, debt utilization, and profitability. Basically what I want you to be able to do from the standpoint of the text here is I want you to calculate each one of those, and it's not difficult. It's just, dividing, adding, subtracting, things like that. But importantly, I want you to be able to look at all of them and know they're telling me something about, do I have enough liquidity? Am I using my assets properly? Am I using my debt properly? Am I making enough money with the investments that I'm making? So the fifth type, I'm going to put it in red, is combinations. So combo. And here we have one that's important. Return equity. My goal is to maximize shareholder wealth if I'm your CEO. So I need to have a high return on equity, and that is equal to net income over equity, right? But I can also say that's equal to net income over sales times sales over assets times assets over equity. So I can break down this ratio into three separate parts, and I can take it apart and I can say, I'll put my multiplication there, I can say, where is my return on equity doing well? Where is it falling behind? So short video here. The ratios, you just have to be able to do the math with them, but recognize what they're telling you, and they're telling you these four things.